Good morning. My name is Leanna Cromwell, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to properly sterilely gown and glove yourself. So, we all know the popularity of medical TV shows and dramas has greatly increased. Shows like Grey's Anatomy offer a glimpse into the world of the OR, but due to time constraints on the runtime of these TV shows, the proper way to do certain tasks is not actually shown correctly. One of the first skills you learn as a new nurse, scrub tech, or even a resident coming into the OR is how to properly gown and glove yourself sterilely. And as I said, due to these time constraints on these TV shows, some important steps of these tasks are omitted. Usually, you have to do a 5-minute hand scrub, and that's usually omitted, obviously due to time constraints. And also, important critical steps in sterile technique are kind of very lenient. So today, again, I'm going to demonstrate how to properly gown and glove yourself. So first off, I'm going to show you what the important pieces of equipment you will need. This is your sterile gown. It usually will come in a plastic wrap as well. You would open that. This is allowed to be touched because this is not sterile, but the inside, however, is. And I don't know if you can see as well, but it is folded. So the first part of sterilely opening your gown is you're going to take this little flap and you're going to open that away from you. Then there's another flap that opens to the left, and then the other flap opens to the right. And there's one more flap that opens towards you. So you now have your gown sterilely open. Anything on the inside is sterile, so you cannot touch that with your hands until you have sterilely scrubbed. Now, the next part you would do is you would sterilely open your gloves. Normally these come in a sterile packet, and what you would do is you would open that sterile packet and put them on. So, for lack of having an actual sterile packet, we're going to assume that these are sterile. So, my sterile field is ready, my gown and gloves are ready. The next step is to do a 5-minute hand scrub. Part of your 5-minute hand scrub is ensuring that all the planes of your hands, your fingers, and your arms are scrubbed. They usually tell us in the beginning you want to spend at least 5 seconds on each plane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on for all your fingers, each side of your hand, up your arms, and even a little bit around your elbow. And you would do that for both hands for a total of 5 minutes. After you have sterilely scrubbed, you're going to rinse your hands, and you start from the fingertips down. So rinse, rinse. They do show in the TV show the hands up. That is true. Your hands are sterile, you don't want to touch anything. So you come into your sterile field already set up. Either you've set it up yourself or you have a nice circulator who has done it for you. So, first step is to, if you look at your packet here, you have your gown, and you have a towel. You can touch the edge of that towel in order to dry your hands off. So that's what I'm going to do. Take my towel, grab one side, dry down from your fingertips down, and you're just going to drop that out of the way, just not on your sterile field. This next step is you're going to touch, again, just the corners of your sterile gloves. And you're going to open them up. If you can see, the gloves are kind of folded. You can open them like so. And the gloves are right inside. This next part took a little bit of getting used to. You would think it'd be pretty easy to put these gloves on, but there's a certain way to do it. If you look at these gloves, you can see that there's a cuff part right here, and then you have the fingers. You do not want to touch this outer portion, because that's what's either going to touch your instruments or your patient. And sterility is very important because it helps prevent infections, and infections are a major thing we want to prevent in the OR, obviously. So you're going to grab your sterile gloves by the cuff. Take your sterile glove, and you would slide it on, as so. You can do that if you're just going to prep, but like I said, today we're going to demonstrate how to sterilely gown and glove. So I will show you how to put on the gown first. So if you look at the gown, you can see that there's a folded part right here, and then there's an opening right there. What you're going to do is you're going to grab your gown by the folded part. And if you can see, there's these little flaps that you can stick your hands inside. You can open it, kind of like a little monster. Step back to ensure that you will not contaminate your gown. And you're going to hold it up and let it fall. But don't let it touch the floor, because then it's not sterile anymore. Slide your arms through, like so, ensuring that you keep your hands inside the sleeves. At this point, your circulator or another assistant in the OR would come and tie you up. Sounds a little weird, but that's the term. So, after I've been tied up, I can now take my glove and again, grab it by the cuff. I'm going to do what I found easy to do it is give myself a thumbs up and find the little thumb finger, and I'm going to slide my sterile gown underneath the cuff, like so. And then you're going to flip it over. Took me a little bit of time to get used to that. It sounds a little confusing, but you'll get the hang of it. And then you can pull it on. Pull gently because these gowns can rip. And you have to start all over. So, I got one glove on. Now, 2 fingers. Now that this outer part of the glove is sterile, I take my 2 fingers and slide it underneath the cuff again, like so. Have my fingers dangling. And I can slide my hand right into the glove. It's easier once you have one glove on. There we go. I have my 2 gloves on. So, again, I would be tied up right now. But the next part and the final step is we have this tie in the front with this little card. This comes apart. You have one tie and the other. You can hand this to your assistant. And you're gonna dance. That's what the term is called, dancing. We have some funny terms in the OR. So you're going to spin around, and obviously you wouldn't do it this way, but for demonstration, you're going to take and tie. Just like so. And there you go. You're pretty much ready to go scrub into your first procedure. Good luck.